Psychology shows that people who overestimate their own knowledge often don't realize they're doing it. This isn't always arrogance, it's about recognizing the cognitive biases that every human mind is vulnerable to. Because true intelligence doesn't come from knowing everything, it comes from knowing there's always more to learn. 1. They confuse confidence with competence. They speak with absolute certainty even when their knowledge is limited. During a meeting, someone confidently dismisses an expert's opinion without understanding the topic. Everyone assumes they're right simply because they sound certain. Psychology links this to the Dunning-Kruger effect, where people with lower skill in a domain may overestimate their own ability because they lack the knowledge needed to recognize their limitations. 2. They stop being curious. They believe they've already figured everything out. Someone refuses to read new information because they're convinced they already know enough. Psychology calls this confirmation bias, the tendency to seek information that supports existing beliefs while ignoring conflicting evidence. 3. They blame everyone else. Mistakes are always someone else's fault. A project fails. Instead of reviewing their own decisions, they immediately criticize coworkers. Psychology describes this as the self-serving bias, our tendency to credit ourselves for success while blaming external factors for failure. 4. They talk more than they listen. They dominate conversations instead of learning from them. A friend shares an experience. Before they're finished speaking, someone interrupts with their own opinion. Neuroscience shows active listening improves learning because it exposes the brain to new information instead of repeating what it already knows. 5. They fear saying, "I don't know." They'd rather guess than admit uncertainty. Someone answers every question immediately, even when they're clearly unsure. Research shows intellectual humility is associated with better learning, openness to evidence, and more accurate reasoning. Here's the irony. The people most worried about not being smart enough often question themselves because they're aware of how much they still have to learn. Meanwhile, those who believe they know everything stop learning altogether. True intelligence isn't measured by how often you're right. It's measured by how willing you are to change your mind when better evidence appears. Growth begins the moment your ego stops competing with your curiosity. If you're fascinated by the psychology of intelligence, cognitive biases, human behavior, and the hidden patterns that shape our decisions, subscribe for more psychology videos every week. Because understanding the mind doesn't start with proving you're the smartest person in the room. It starts with staying curious enough to keep learning.